welcome back to today's episode, Maturity. Mature ready? Question mark. LOL. Do you guys get it? Playing with the word sounds? Anyways, I want to read you guys this quote that I found from an article on this site called Bustle. And it says, mature people are in charge of themselves, know how to manage their feelings, and how to reach their goals. Sometimes being mature means you have to make hard decisions, whether that pertains to your professional or personal life. Now, when I read this, it really related to what sparked today's topic, which was us just scrolling through social media and seeing some of our high school friends and college peers getting married or having children ready and essentially making big decisions to their personal lives. And it made us think, in an essence, wow, the people that are in our age group are truly letting go of their young youth periods. And this makes us wonder about how we are also getting ready or already on this path of maturity. We're going to talk about various experiences in our lives that we felt like we really matured, and hopefully this also let you guys self-reflect on your path to maturity. So let's just dive in.
All right, great. So let's start off with talking about us at the moment where we thought we became mature. I'll start off with my story, which is I recently was put on a project where it was a very big project. It involved almost everyone in the office. And my role was a main editor for the project. Something special about this project was that the project manager was also on annual leave during one of the weeks. So what ended up happening was I also took a little bit of their responsibility as well. It's a very big project that I was put on, and for someone who's just been in the job on 1 year, that's a lot of pressure. But the good news was it ended up being very successful. We actually met the deadline and got very good review from my leader, and then I actually even had a one-on-one chat with our big boss, the highest director there. Never before have I had that. And of course, if you just enter a job and you had that kind of opportunity, you feel so excited and feel so honored, and you feel like, yes, I did it. I can actually have a one-on-one chat with the big boss. But strangely enough, this time, even though it's my first time, and even though I've been looking forward to this moment since maybe day one, actually, when it really did happen, surprisingly, my attitude, how I behaved was very calm. It was very strange. I expected I'd be very nervous, which I was a little bit at the beginning because I wasn't sure what he was meaning me for. But then he told me he wanted just to talk about, give feedback about this whole project, how it went. And strange enough, it was that moment of nervousness just disappeared, and I just went right to business and just gave feedback about the project, its weakness, any people who actually needed more improvement on. And it felt very business-like. It was just at the moment, I just feel wow, Cindy, you're so calm. What happened to you? A 1 year difference can change you so much. And I think it was at that moment I felt, okay, Cindy, you've matured. You must have experienced things to the point where you can calmly talk to the big boss like that.
So Cindy, would you feel like a year ago you would have been to your big boss, wow, I can't believe you actually value my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just a subordinate. But now you're damn well you should value my opinion.
yeah, you got that right. That's exactly the tone. And it's just strange because I guess, being valued by someone higher up is always something you achieve for, you always hope for, right? But now it's it's to the point where I've had enough experience. I've done a lot of projects and I feel more confident in what I say, that it's I feel the company needs my opinion. It's to that point. Not like before. I'm being recognized for myself, for what I achieve. Now it's no, who cares about, what I achieve? We need to do this for the next step for the company. We need to do this for the next person so that in the future, things will be more smoother. And that was exactly what happened, where I gave very, very honest feedback to the big boss. Surprisingly, I thought I would go to my words, make everything appear good, but somehow I just ended up being very honest. And the thing was, I know he was listening as well. So I guess a part of me just knows, okay, my opinion now counts. I have experience to back it up.
Well, I also think because you were in charge of a big project, so it's not before 1 year ago you wouldn't have struggled, she would have struggled to bring up an opinion or bring up an idea because she might not had any experience in any of the projects, but now you kind of do. Fresh graduates, I feel have this urge and have more of an eye of how to make things more efficient and have more fresh ideas. So maybe that's why he was looking from you.
I do have to say what's different is at the time I was more relying on the things I've learned at school, whereas now I feel a very big difference where I'm relying on my own like guts, if you can say, my instincts, what I feel. So it's like I'm testing my own theories, which is very different from what happened when you just enter a job, at least for me. I think that's also the point where you've matured, you know how to react, you've gained enough experience to be more self-aware of what you're good at and able to plan things according to that. I felt like I'm seeing the decisions that I'm making, seeing the consequences and the outcome of my own personal input. And then that became my motivation, every day to and go to work, is to just make a decision, see how it happens. And there's just testing my own feelings and own theories.
Yeah, I think that also comes with dealing with people in companies as well. Like whatever you say to another person, like a coworker, you kind of see what results and how they react. So you're also like testing how you should treat people. So I think that's more like a test and see the result, how it goes. You're seeing how you belong or how you should react to like a certain situation, company.
Yeah, and probably both of you feel it too. I guess this is mature, is when you've reached that point where you actually have an opinion, for example, when somebody says something, but you know when to react and when to voice it or just keep quiet and just let it go. Having that awareness, I feel that's also part of being mature.
It kind of made me think about once you reach that maturity, you start to realize how other people around you are really immature. And speaking of opinions, I had experiences when colleagues would just voice out their opinions, which is fine, completely fine. But they kind of want you to have an opinion about their opinion. Like they really want you to engage, even though you don't care. And then in my head, all I really want to say is, the reason why I'm quiet, because I have no opinion about your opinion. I just don't care. But, like in that situation, you're so stuck. And I don't know if that relates to maturity, but I feel like that throughout my years and throughout my times, you just realize that you need to care more about yourself and not what other people may think of you. At the end of the day, your mental health is on you. So that kind of relates to like in the work culture, you want to fit in, you want to get along with everyone, but also there should be a time where you need to stand up for yourself when there is misjudgment or when there is an unfair action that is brought upon you. So you know what I mean? Don't just like sit back and have no voice. I feel like when people are mature enough, they'll be able to take their stance and voice out their opinions like appropriately and in a very professional way.
I get what Angela's saying, because in work you talk to a lot of different types of people. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like there are conversations where are important and have value, and where this conversation is going and it's gonna bring something, like we're gonna create something. But there are conversations where it's like it's just pointless and you're just like, I don't know why I'm in this conversation, and it's kind of just wasting my time and energy. So yeah, like Angela, I just zoom out while trying to act like I listen.
I guess you can even say like it's reached a point where you don't really care if people have a bad impression of you. It's like, you and I don't relate anyway, so there's no point in me making myself look good in front of you when in the end you and I are just not the same people. I don't have to always be that nice person. I can also just be myself, and just if I don't want to interact with you, then just don't. I just won't, and just save everybody time. I do feel in university we try to attempt to connect with everyone. It's like this very positive vibe we all have, but then afterwards, now at least at work, let it go. Like there's no need, and there's nobody to check on you except yourself. Like in the end, it's just you are the only one who knows about yourself.
When you're young, I definitely feel like you're more vulnerable to insecurities, and that makes you prone to manipulation very easily. But through age and through like experience, you get to realize, oh, none of those matter. Like you believe in what you're doing, and you believe you're reaching your goals, doing a good job, and that should be good.
I mean, I feel like when we actually move out and start working, you sign the contract for your employment, you sign the contract for your place, etc., and everything works out. And you know how like everything works out so well that you're just like, oh wow, I have matured. I don't need anyone. Oh, and like this wasn't as hard as I thought it would be because there's not much effort and you just seem like maybe it's not much effort because I've grown. I like recently moved to a new place, right? So it's just like it's a big thing, but I had to move on. Like I couldn't like celebrate like this big moment in life. So I have to move on. I have to continue with my job.
Sounds a little sad, actually.
Right?
A part of you feels okay. This is a big deal, we meant it, but the truth is like we gotta move on because so
Yeah.
much things is happening. So I guess you can't say it's made us like more numb, but it does feel like wow, this is doable. It's not crazy stuff that's not possible to do. So that's grown up. No.
I want to be more excited about my life.
But then another side is, I'm glad that now I don't need to worry about these things. Like I'm not scared of these things. So yeah.
I mean, Angela's moving to like UK soon, right?
Imagine you being a student doing that and now you doing this. Like, well, how do you feel?
Oh my God. If I like, even like when I moved to like Shanghai, like, as a student, because the school did everything for me, I just felt like, okay, I don't want to say it that way, but like in my life for big things, there's always going to be somebody who's helping me. Like, there's that feeling of, oh, I won't be alone in making big decisions, but now making big decisions like moving to a new country, getting insurance, of course you have your family to call, but what they're going to do, they're not going to do anything but just give you mental support. Everything is on you. Everything's by yourself. And yeah, I'm like moving to a new country that I've never been before, and I am just YOLOing there. I'm going there all by myself, did the visa all by myself. I'm gonna go there, find a place all by myself, find a job, and just figure life out. And it's exciting, but yet terrifying at the same time because I'm a planner and I like to plan things, and not knowing something or having an unknown factor in my equation is very like gives me a little bit of anxiety. But hey, well, this is the journey of growing up, and this is the journey of me reaching a higher maturity level than before, because I feel like maturity, there is a spectrum. It's not like you matured and now you have no more room to get even more mature. I feel like you have reached level 1 of mature and now you have to evolve, like a Pokemon.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because from high school to university, some people say, oh, I've grown matured. I've moved away from school, even though college is also a school, but it's a different kind of school. And they would argue that. But actually, even after uni, from uni to first job, that's also a step of maturity. And then now at our point is like 1 year on the job and seeing people around us making big decisions, that's another step of maturity. So definitely different type of maturity, can't really compare. And now it's like we're in the second evolution stage, like we were Pokemon.
yeah second evolution. Third and fourth will be like finding a partner and getting married and having kids.
Oh, those things sound so big, but like not big. I don't know how to say it. It's like I've gotten to a point where I've accepted that, okay, this is a thing that I have to decide soon, because I'm seeing people around me like that. Whereas before, like if I've ever heard a friend got married, I'll be, oh my God, I get so freaked out. Or if somebody had a kid, I do have a friend who has 2 kids. That freaked me out. But now it's like, okay, this is coming soon, It's like, in a way, like now I can congratulate my friend getting married and be like, oh, you're very lucky to find a partner so early, accepting some of the, just the mannerism. And you have to go through all of this. So I guess that's part of growing up.
I'm just thinking about what Cindy said and how like your 20-year-old self seeing your friend who's like 20, 21 getting married. Oh my God. And your reaction is, oh my God, you're married so young. Like, why throw your life away? And then fast forward 4 or 5 years later, you're 25, you're seeing your other 25-year-old friend getting married and everything. Your reaction is, oh, okay, so I guess she's about the right time, a little bit early, but okay. And then fast forward 5 years later, you're 30, and then you're seeing your like 30-year-old friend getting married, and you're like, oh shit, I'm on a deadline. Like, I really need to get married ASAP.
I don't know. Maybe by our age, we won't have that stigma because I think slowly people are getting married later and later. I just hope we don't get to face that deadline thing. That's such a horrible thing to think of.
regarding like deadline, like to me, I don't care about the age thing. It's more about my eggs. Like
Thank you for your compassion.
yes,
I did not think that there.
kids in the media, they just
I guess the people around me still affected by society. Well, at least you're more scientific, so
hey, you know, my young self wouldn't think about this, but I'm getting more mature, so I gotta think about this.
True.
and this is crazy. It's like, why am I thinking of this like this? And yet at the same time, you're not freaked out by it.
I mean, I think it's a good thing that, you know, we're more receptive to change, but at the same time, it's kind of like we should sometimes celebrate and we should sometimes enjoy the little perks in life.
I liked how Ham mentioned that it's okay to be mature, right? But sometimes also to let go and loosen yourself. Always driving in the driver's seat sometimes could be very overwhelming and just tiring. Even if you have reached that maturity level or you feel like, oh, but I'm mature, I need to be this way or I need to be that way. Take a chill pill, man. Sometimes it's okay to sit in the passenger seat and let loose because it's always tiring being in control. And it's okay at whatever age to feel this way because you know, I feel like sometimes people may think like, oh my God, I'm 30 or oh my God, I'm 35. I need to do these certain things because that is what a mature person at my age should do and everything. But it's okay to let go of that thought and just be like, okay, well, I need to have my own path I need to drive on.
Learn to let loose and learn to laugh. That's really important because I heard my friend, yeah, she's been just so busy to the point where it's like, when we got together, she finally laughs. And she actually said she hasn't laughed in such a long time. Laughed so hard in a long time. And I think that's a little sad to hear. But at the same time, you're right. It's really something to take home is mature is one thing, but learning to let go is also a good thing. So to wrap it up, just saying that through life, we go through many phases of maturity. The phase from high school to university is different from what we experience now as graduates who have entered society and gained some work experience. Perhaps before we were super excited to become the driver of our lives, but now as each of us have confessed, sometimes we miss being the passenger. But even though there's lots going on around us at this stage in our lives, from our discussion today, I get the sense that somehow we've also developed a self-awareness of who we are and how we react to certain scenarios, which is already a step towards maturity, as they say. After all, maturity is not about age, but about the sensitivity and manner to react to your surroundings, when to respond, when to not take things personally, and when to walk away. You no longer need to seek an answer from society. Instead, you sought the answer from yourself. So yes, you know you've become mature ready when you trust in yourself.
I love your endings always, Cindy. But thank you guys for tuning in today's episode, Maturity, Mature Ready. And if you haven't, please subscribe, like, and leave a rating for Banana Corn. And recommend this to all your family and friends. And follow us on Instagram, Banana Corn PD. And come back and join us on our next episode. This is us. Bye.
Bye.